podcast, though. Heaven knows we talk about just about everything else in between. We are two friends in fiber who knit and spin and sew and record. Currently from the Canadian prairies, both of us calling Winnipeg, Manitoba home for the moment, though one of us, possibly both of us, may be changing locations in 2020.
It'll be adventurous.
Time for change. I've been here for a decade. I can leave now.
I've never lived anywhere else.
I have never lived anywhere longer than 10 years. I've never lived in the same house for more than 2. So this is the longest house I've ever lived in too.
There's clearly time to up and move
I gotta
everything and shake
Too much
everything
stability.
up.
Too much stability. I'm going crazy. It's got to change. Okay.
Okay.
If I am looking all over the place, guys, I'm adjusting to new bifocals, and I'm told they look good on my face. That's why we bought them. But that blurry line right in the middle, I haven't quite adjusted my eyeballs yet to function at the top third or at the bottom third, but not in that little bit in the middle where everything is insta-drunk vision. Like, and my allergies are going crazy, so I'm going to be blowing my nose a lot today. I don't know what it is that set them off. I have taken nasal spray. I have taken an allergy pill. My sister's playing video games upstairs, so I can hear her subwoofer talking to her. It's a Sunday. We're doing what we can. I think there's football tonight. Listen, there's a lot of activity going on.
There's always a sport on
I had
Sunday
to
night.
bypass my brother-in-law and get his wife, my sister, to text his best friend to bring back his stud finder so we can hang a shelf on my wall we've been trying to hang for a month and a bit. Because the stud finder's been at the best friend's house.
Right.
And the husband, my brother-in-law, keeps forgetting to ask the best friend to bring it. And she's like, well, and she's like, okay, well, if my husband's best friend's one, she's like, I'll bypass him and I will get his wife to put it in the bag to bring it over. So I was like, God, this is the most convoluted process ever. I just want the stud finder to come home because it is an outside wall. So there's metal and there's a lot of insulation and it's got plaster wall. Like it's a heavy duty wall and I just want to be able to put the shelf up safely. So I need it to go into studs. It's a big, long, nice, fancy wooden shelf. It's like the ones I have over in the office. It's just this big, long, fancy wooden shelf.
Mm-hmm.
I want to put shit on the shelf, pardoning my French, and I can't do any of that till I have a stud finder. I have the cordless drill, I have the levels, I have the nail, I have everything else. I need the stud finder to come home. And no, I don't dare buy one of my own because my father will make the obvious dad joke. And if I need to help you get there, look up dad joke stud finder. I'm not doing it. I'm not. I refuse. And I will do some bad dad jokes.
That's a pretty rough dad joke.
Oh, it's so... And he does it too. Because he has stud finders. My dad's a carpenter by trade. So, when I go out, and I'm going out with friends and in Saskatoon visiting, Dad will be like, oh, do you need this? He's handing me the stud finder. No, I don't, thank you. I'm aware that I'm single. It's fine. I'm not offended by my own status. It's okay. It's good, Dad. Thanks. So, I've already rambled. We've done an intro. It hasn't worked out great. I'm going to be blowing my nose the whole way through. It's just... My sinuses are draining and I don't know why they're mad. But they're mad, so it's fine. It is what it is. Diana, do you want to tell everybody what we're going to talk about? Now you quietly sat in the corner while I rambled.
I'm uncaffeinated today. We've got... wow, joking.
Breathe often?
Yeah, maybe. We've got what's in our cup, cool threads, woolly workings, spinning yarns, yarn on the go, wool gathering,
It's like,
and kniterature.
you write these down. It's the 1st of December, you guys!
I know, when did that happen? Where'd November go?
Guess what? By the time you see this, I've already got several Vlogmas Days videos up.
Crazy.
And I know everyone's looking at it going, Jocelyn, they're not on the channel. They're not. They're on my channel. My channel.
So we're gonna have to link to that.
It's gonna be, yeah. Well, I mean, every time you create a Google profile, you automatically create like a YouTube channel and you create other things. And I like that when you make a Gmail account because then it's all linked. And boy, I love me some linked stuff. When it works. Technology and me, when it works. So there is a YouTube channel for Amber Dragon Designs. So I'm going to put the videos there. Diana's a genius. She links things down in the description box and on the web page, and she's got me covered.
I will make a note to link that.
That's why she does the show notes, because she has a analytical mind that functions well with details and organizations, and I live off post-it notes and caffeine. Which is technically not true. I live off to-do lists, post-it notes, and caffeine. I don't forget too many things too often.
That's kind of impressive.
I accurately recalled a rule from memory that had been modified in the last 2 years, and I was correct. Off the top of my head by memory for my Blood Bowl game. Which I wasn't sure I was entirely positive on. I asked Ben to go check, and he checked. So Mr. B has all the books. I do not yet have all the books. I was correct. Halfling Shelves are 300 cane inducements, and it's 3d6s, and on a 4+, you steal your opponent's reroll. And if your opponent doesn't have rerolls to give you, you take what he's got, and you get the extras anyway.
This is my... You're saying words I don't understand, but you clearly understand them, so I'm just gonna nod and smile face.
You played Blood Bowl.
I know, but that was a lot of words very quickly that I did not follow. I haven't played in over a year.
Now, whose fault is that? Yours. You could have played this year.
Could have. I don't know. Just wasn't that into it. I like the painting, and I don't know.
You'll be a hobbyist, not a game enthusiast.
Yeah. More of a casual hobby.
Excellent. I should commission you to paint my minis.
I'm not that good.
I'm going blind like I'm going to notice. I don't need to win awards with them. They need to be table ready so I can play.
Fair enough. This requires me to paint ever.
I know that I can't help you with.
I got a big box of Tyranids.
I don't know where your time goes.
It goes into a lot of... I was going to say a lot of... No, it doesn't go into
It doesn't go into a lot of knitting.
I don't know where it goes.
Your time just... I don't know what you do with it.
It evaporates somewhere.
So I bought tea Thursday before Black Friday because I had to go to the mall to get my new glasses. Because I have Smexy new square, rectangle cat eyes.
Sure.
Well, they're cat eye shaped, but they've got the rectangle bottom.
Okay.
Because the round bottom would look really bad on my face. So I can't get the type of glasses that look really good on my face. Can't put bifocals in those. But they're the super tiny, skinny rectangle library glasses that like are supposed to perch on the end of your nose and just give you that small little glass window.
Right.
Those look really good on my round face. So we went to the next step up. And I haven't owned plastic glasses since I was like 12. These are decidedly better than the circular purple frames I had as a child with my bad bob cut.
Ooh, that sounds like a look.
It was the 90s, people. I did the best I could. What's frightening is the 90s of MTV have come back.
Uh-huh.
So it's not regular 90s, it's the MTV 90s, because that's what kids look back at.
Uh-huh.
It's a weird 90s look, and it's not what we actually wore. Windbreakers are in again. Why?
Oh man, I remember my neon colored pink and blue windbreaker from when I was like 3 or 4.
Windbreaker scrunchies, the lace choker collar things.
Oh yeah, those are definitely back. The lace choker collar things. That
all
surprised
the things
me.
I look at photos now and I think to myself, dear God, what was I thinking? I'm waiting for the super baggy overalls and the tube top shirts.
Ooh.
Because I totally rocked that when I was like 11 or 12. Early 90s. Back when salt and pepper was just becoming huge. Could I date myself anymore?
And I'm like, yep, that was a band. Maybe I was a child. Yeah. A very small child.
Yeah, I remember one of my favorite first radio songs when I was really little. We lived up north. Was Video Killed the Radio Star.
Oh, hey, I actually know that song.
It's a pretty iconic song. Didn't realize MTV meant music videos. So I've been old before I knew it. But I remember watching MTV as like a 10, 12, 14-year-old. By the time I was like 16, I'd grown out of it. Oh, my allergies. I cannot physically take any more medication for them today.
So now we've rambled for like 15 minutes. Should we get to what's in our cup?
Sure.
We started to get there and then went on another tangent.
I am caffeinated.
You went to David's Tea and you got some tea.
I did. We needed Christmas teas. We needed new teas. It's December. I've been on a tea hiatus. What is it? The Fiber Friends did it last year, 2 of them. They went on a yarn sabbatical rather than calling it a yarn diet.
Yeah, a yarn sabbatical.
A sabbatical. I went on a tea sabbatical, so I haven't been buying as much.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I've earned some tea. I haven't bought tea in months. You've seen me.
Mm-hmm.
I've been very good at the non-tea buying thing. Yes, I think the only tea I bought this year that hasn't been the staple stuff is the that mint one I got when we were at the farmer's market one week.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I've been really good. So I bought 3. And of course, we're drinking the same one.
Of course.
I bought 2 Christmassy ones. I'm drinking it in a Christmas. I gave you a Christmas mug. We both have Christmas mugs.
Woo! Oh wait, the words aren't on that side. I need to turn it around.
Mm.
There's joy inside this mug.
This one just says hanging around. Hang around. And then something on the bottom. I don't know, my bifocals don't quite bring it into focus because curves. Also, it's in shadow. It's got Christmas stockings on it and it's huge.
The tea we're drinking is Forever Frosty, which is a delightful pink color. It's so cheerful. I love it.
I'm going to sneeze and we need to cut that part.
Bless you. We good?
Maybe. Alright, shall we whip through some cool threads?
Yeah. So I've been wearing my ever-present Rivers wrap. It was a little bit warmer on one of the days, so I brought out the Not a Lot of Rain in April. And the hat of the week has been the Katie hat. From the Four Sisters 2 collection by Cozy Up Knits.
Cool beans. The usual suspects. I added the mallow cardigan in because it's cool enough when I want to just pop in and out of the house or I'm going somewhere quick with my brother-in-law. I put that on instead of a coat because today's been like the coldest day all week. It's -10. It's been like -2 to +2 all week again.
It has been lovely.
It's been gross. Do you know how gross those bike paths are?
Well, yeah, okay.
Anyway, so the mallow cardigan, my Find Your Fade, and Diana's mitts that she made for me 2 Christmases ago. I'm sure they have a name, but I just call them Diana's mitts.
They didn't really have a name. They were just sort of thrummed mittens.
Cool.
That I invented.
Works for
Maybe
me.
I followed a pattern. I don't honestly remember.
I don't remember either. I just remember you stressing and getting them done one year.
They got done.
They did indeed. Alright.
And that brings us to Woolly Workings. You have one more thing than I do this week.
Well, okay. That's not unusual. The fact that it's only one is kind of unusual. I've got some finished items. The crochet kick has not ended. I've still been super into doing crochet things. I don't know why it happens. I get into this kick. And I've completely failed at doing any sort of work on my 100-day maker challenge. Didn't even do it at all this week.
Oh.
Like, cool. That was wonderful, Jocelyn. So next week
crochet
I have to... I know! I don't know why I didn't pick them up because there's little 3-inch squares. It's great. So I think it's because I've got so much sewing to do. And I need to do the sewing that I have to buckle down tonight and I have to get the sewing done. So I gotta finish my one of my knitted projects and I gotta buckle down and get some sewing done. But I have done a few more Christmas ornaments for the niece. I got a couple of ends left to weave in and then I can put them into her advent calendars for the next couple of days because she gets a homemade advent calendar every year. So I made a pair of mittens. They're so cute. Little crocheted mittens, a little crocheted hat, and a little crocheted sweater, a little cardigan dude. I have to go to Dollarama or like Walmart and get little white pipe cleaners and make little coat hangers for the sweater. So I'm going to do that tomorrow because tomorrow's Monday. And then she'll get this in a couple of days. So it's the hat. 2 cat today or one of the other larger items today. So I told her she couldn't get her first Advent Day calendar talk to re-recorded. So I got Jocelyn's got to show people first. She said, okay. So she's got 3 new Christmas ornaments to go on her tree that she'll get over the course of her Advent calendar this month.
Those are so cute.
They are. They're all video tutorials I watched from Jada and Stitches. So she released a little trio of videos where she went over these patterns and did them. So that was super exciting. I'm going to blow my nose again because that's what we do. And I'll talk about more crochet work. Oh, so much nose blowing. Okay, so under the tripod. So if it shakes, I'm sorry. You guys may remember last week I had started a scarf and a mittens and a headband. and I was marling the yarn by holding a worsted and a DK together to get to a bulky range. And it had started because of the 1.5 hour chunky sweater or chunky scarf pattern that I had spoken about, which takes me longer than an hour and a half. I don't crochet that fast. I also made it a touch bigger and longer than the pattern called for because I live in a place where you need big chunky knits. So I finally finished. So I went from one side, and you can see I got a pom-pom on the end here.
Oh, it's so fun.
I know. And then I went all the way, and what I did is, it was a raw edge, and I went back over the whole entire edge of it and single crocheted around the whole edge of the pattern scarf. Because I just like the look. Like, I like how it finishes off the scarf.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got this, and it's big. I mean, my niece is going to drown in it for the next couple of years, but that's fine. But it is big, it's dense, it's acrylic, so it can go in the washing machine. And it is excellent for -20 weather.
Looks so fun. I love it.
And the palms are huge.
They're so great.
They are so large and fluffy.
Oh, they're so fluffy.
So fluffy.
I love
and
it.
they're white. I don't know what I was thinking. She can't keep things white to save her soul. She's not me. But it looks really good against this pattern and this yarn. So I had to do it. So it was 2 loops and threads. One was the DK weight one was the ice cream. One of the ice cream balls. And the other one was a chameleon. Both came from my stash. But it had to happen. So, and the art of all finished items must go on Diana's head.
Of course.
I mean, I didn't pass over the ornaments. We've seen you pile ornaments on your head.
Yeah.
It's funny. Here you go. Have a scarf. Not super well folded. The joy of knitting for my niece now is that she's got the same size hands and head I do. The child's huge. She's 13 now. Officially, we turned 13 last month. So I had 1 mitten done last week, and I had to finish the other mitten. So I now have 2 mittens. They're just no pattern. I literally just did a longer cuffed ribbed cuff, which I did when I did her some fingerless mittens a little bit earlier this year. And then I did half double crochets with some thumb increases. One thumb turned out a little bit better than the other, and that's fine. She won't care, which is another thing that makes her so delightfully knitworthy, is she doesn't notice these things. I do. She doesn't. But then she's got hands as long as mine are and as wide as mine are. So I made some long cuffed cotton crochet mittens for her. She loses stuff so fast that if we keep these for a season or 2, I'm doing exceptionally well. Would you like some mittens for your head?
Oh, sure.
We're not done. We got one more thing once we're done the mittens. I had finished the headband. This headband's a smidge snug on me because my head's a bit bigger than hers, but not by much. I had done the Best Friend head wrap by Accessorize. Yes, Accessorize. But I wanted it doubled because one layer is nice, but we live in a province where it's cold. And I didn't want her to frostbite her ears. And she's got hats and toques and beanies and stuff, but she doesn't have any head wraps. So I made her a head wrap to go over her ears. And what I did was the pattern calls for half double crochets. It's a free pattern. Half double crochets, and there's this little funky little twist on the front. So I did half double crochets, and I just half double crocheted a band a smidge wider than the initial head wrap. And I did that all the way around, and then just connected it and crocheted it. Single crocheted it together. So you get this nice little white trim all the way around, which happens to match the pom-poms because I made it out of the leftover yarn from the pom-pom. So, a cute little head wrap that is double layered, so it's nice and thick. Can you get one more item on your head?
We're stacking.
We're stacking. So that's her big
stacking.
trio for...
Ha! There we go.
Those are her big presents for her advent calendar. We try to make them practical every year because practical gifts are better. So she's got a lot of other little things and stuff, but we figured that would be a good way of doing it as well too. So she'll get those first instead of last so she can use them. Because I'm a big fan of being able to use things. And technically, since what we count every single individual item as a finished, I have 6 finishes.
That's a lot.
Let's be honest, 3 of those are Christmas tree ornaments, and we're like an hour and a half a piece.
Okay, this is getting heavy on my head.
It's because it's heavy. It's a lot of stuff. And all acrylic, so we can wash the snot out of it, which is great.
Probably the literal snot.
Possibly, yeah. So at some point she'll catch a cold, so it won't be a shock. So she's got more winter gear. And as far as I can tell, teenagers and children always need winter gear. You're always losing something, misplacing something, something's been left behind at school. Like,
yep.
Yeah, that's just how it goes. So, I'm happy they're done. Ends are woven in because she starts getting them today. And we never have to talk about them again until I realize I haven't put up project patterns, and then I have to do it before they go out to her tonight. All right, that leaves me with 2 things.
Okay, I also have 2 things. Shall I jump in with a thing?
Sure. Oh, I know you guys.
Okay, where's the other one? I decided that ornaments were really cute.
They are.
/ I needed to make presents for Knit Club.
You're making us Christmas tree ornaments?
Yes. And so, disregard that string. I'm making little pairs of socks.
Those are cute.
Little bitty pairs of socks.
Those are adorable.
They take about an hour a piece, and they're so freaking cute. I make them just like normal people-sized socks.
Only tiny stitch count.
Yeah, instead of casting on 20 and increasing up to 60, 64, these are 6, increasing up to 18.
That's a hell of a fast round. Holy Hannah!
They're so cute. So I think I might make them look a little more like stockings and stuff them. And then head over to Michael's and see if I can get a little, just like tiny little ornament charms to stick in the top.
Oh, cute.
Because I think that would be so cute if they actually looked like little stockings.
Yes.
So this is my current delight.
Your super last minute, you needed a gift for Knit Club?
Yeah, well, it was my plan all along because of other parts that I won't talk about so that they're at least a little bit surprising.
That's fair.
It was my plan all along to do socks, but figuring out the size of socks has been my task this week.
Oh, that's fair.
There's been, I think, 3 other socks that I got halfway through and like, no, this isn't right. It's the wrong shape. It's too big. It's too short. It's just wrong. So it took me all week to finally hit on this pattern by like Friday, I think.
Nice.
So now I can churn one of these out in an hour, and I still have almost.
One more to go.
I have about a week and a half.
Yep.
So I'm gonna see.
Could be a max of 5.
Let's see if I can get pairs of socks for everybody.
Woo.
So I think that'd be super cute.
Yes, I think that would be amazing.
So I'm super pleased with those. And it's letting me use up some sock yarn from a pair of socks that I thought I had enough yarn for that I didn't, but only by like a little bit. And so it ended up all in these tiny little 5-gram strips because I was trying to do something and it didn't work. And so it's perfect because each sock is like 5 grams.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm making fantastic use of some sock ends.
Beautiful.
Your turn again?
Always my turn. Finally got the pattern back, Jack's Playground, from the tech editor. She's an amazing lady and she helps me, and she sent back with a bunch of questions and stuff, and I was like, some of them I can answer, some of them I can't. Some of the things I was like, you were super right to include that, and some of them I'm like, I swore I'd put it in but I hadn't, which is why you have people check your patterns, guys. It's just the way it works. So I'm finishing up on it. I have done the complicated part, which is the big pattern piece, which is the snowflake part of the shawl. So now I've just got to finish a tiny little garter bump and a little mini light easy lace. Not so easy that Diana will mess it up, but not hard enough to be intermediate. Does that make sense? So it's not eyelet lace. It's a smidge harder than eyelet lace.
Okay, so I will have to concentrate on it slightly more and not screw it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I think that's right level, because eyelet lace said you just nothing but trouble. Nothing but trouble. It is
something about that. In order to knit without looking at stuff, I need a rhythm, and eyelet lace just doesn't have a suitable rhythm.
Yeah.
But like a 10-stitch repeat of complicated lace does.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it. It's ribbing. 1 by 1 ribbing, 2 by 2 ribbing. I can't do it to save my soul. But
that
super
does
complicated knit purl patterns, no problem. So my snowflakes are done. This was the part I was super worried about. This is the important pattern piece. So now that I know that it's good, I can finish it off. I'm using some stitch markers to indicate where my increases are going to be. These are actually birthday presents from Miss Chantel, Miss C, that we got at our birthdays. Yeah, she gave you stitch markers too for your birthday, didn't she?
I think so.
Yeah.
Don't remember which ones.
I remember she gave me these ones, and it's only because I was talking to my cousin at the time, and she was getting ready. I had to go do something, so she just dropped them down my boobs. So all I got was her hand here, and then I had something heavy in my chest. And I mean, like, my chest is heavy to start with. So I was like, hello, what's going down my shirt? Like I do in public and restaurants. So it was funny, but that's working out. The only thing left for me to figure out is an estimated yardage for testers. So, though, I'm going to sneeze.
Bless
Maybe.
you.
Ow. Ow. Oh. Since I got up today, I don't know. It's just driving me crazy. Or maybe I didn't sleep enough. I don't know. Oh, Lord Almighty. Great. So, for test knitters, I've seen that a couple of you messaged me on Ravelry. Weren't included in the list because you had to email me. So I gotta stress, if you like to test knit when you're free and you're available, would like to be like on a short list for me to contact for you, you have to email amberdragondesigns@gmail.com. It's great if you get a hold of me in other locations, but it doesn't count unless you've emailed that specific email, because that is what it exists for. It exists for my pattern stuff, so that when I'm doing pattern stuff, that's where I'm looking. Like, how often do I check my Ravelry messages, guys? Like, maybe once a week. That's not the way to get a hold of me. I had some people do it on Instagram. I had some people do it on the Northern Knits email. Like, sweet, but you have to email the Amber Dragon Designs, please, I beg of you, because that is where all the information is stored and kept. So when I'm in that account, that's what I'm doing, and I'm dealing with pattern stuff, and I'm dealing with the works that are coming up and stuff for the design work. I don't deal with it anywhere else. It just helps me keep everything segregated. So I also keep everything in one place, so I haven't misplaced somebody or forget somebody or do something else. So I've got actually a couple of people who sent those Ravelry messages that I need to reply to and go thank you. I appreciate it. You've missed this round. But I'm going to send you my email so you can email me next time I call for test knitters, which I will be doing next year. So, though next year's test knitters are not intro knit patterns. It's been consuming a lot. Diana knows what I've been working on. It's been consuming a lot of my brain the last half of this year. And I've gotten to the point now where I will start working through the patterns super early next year and start requesting a test knitter or two for each of the patterns. So those ones are fingering their lace patterns, and they are squarely in their intermediate section. So to keep that in mind, if you are an advanced beginner or a beginner knitter, to let me know that, so I know which test patterns to offer to you. Does that make sense?
I think so.
And if you're a crocheter and you like to test knit crochet stuff, again, email me Amber Dragon Designs, because I've got some crochet patterns I want to put out that I'd like to have somebody else do, just to make sure that the English is good.
amberdragondesigns@gmail.com.
Yep. All one word, no caps. Diana links everything. She's so good.
Oh yeah, and that's dragon with a U, so that's
DRAGUN.
yes, AMBERDRAGUN
Designs
designs@gmail.com. Okay.
If you follow me anywhere else on the internet, I am Amber Dragon. Twitch, Instagram, my personal Instagram. The Etsy shop's gonna be Amber Dragon Designs. What else do I have? Snapchat, Twitter. I'm Amber Dragon everywhere. It works great. All right, that's it.
Okay.
Oh no, I've got Isabella's sweater, which I put on 2 rows. I don't even want to pull it out and show, guys. I did 2 rows, okay? You can't even tell I've made progress because it's 2 rows and a fingering weight yarn. Listen, it's bright pink. We haven't made it to the shoulders. I've done 2 rows. I'm slowly working on it. If she gets it for Christmas this year, great. If she doesn't, she doesn't. I don't stress knit. And I usually don't gift knit in December. I will be this year just because some of the stuff I'm working on is just gift knitting. It's just for gifts. So no Grinchmas this year for me because technically I'm not abiding by the rules.
My goodness.
I know.
But you always do Grinchmas.
I enjoy Grinchmas. I also want to get some stuff off my needles, which means working on gift knits because that's what's on my needles.
Fair enough.
So
you just buy more needles.
Maybe. I mean, that'll happen anyway, so I'm not worried about it.
Alright, I guess I can do my last thing.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my nose.
Okay.
Why will it not quit?
I don't know. I don't have answers. I'm sorry.
I hate allergies. Talk about something fun. Talk about your other project.
Okay. So I'm still working on the Glam Lamb. I'm in the middle of a row right now. I am... Oh, gosh. I got tired of counting ridges across the back of this thing, so I've got 2 orange clippy stitch markers marking off 20 rows apiece, and then the tealy, greeny, bluey one is marking my progress since last week, which is not that great because I was working on sock ornament patterns. You know what? I have like basically a pair of baby socks, but like 3 different yarns and sizes, and like
Babies aren't that small.
surprisingly not. No, I started out making my ornaments way too big, and then I got a decent way in, and I'm like, this is too big, it's taking too long. Start
You
over.
actually were making newborn baby booties?
Basically, yeah.
Those are a whole other side.
I know. It's completely wrong. Which is why... So that's where all my knitting time went this week. But yeah, this is so close to my second armhole, and then I just have to do a second lapel, I guess.
Front.
And then sleeves, and then I'm done. So I'm really close. This is out of Loops and Threads Charisma in charcoal, dark charcoal. I don't even know. I don't have a ball band in here. I think it's just charcoal. Or is it
charcoal?
Dark? Is charcoal or dark gray? Charcoal, I think.
I think it's charcoal.
Okay. Super squishy and so close to being done. I might have this for Christmas. That would be delightful if I could just cozy up in this for Christmas. Oh my goodness. Oh, I'm 100% on board with this idea.
So am I.
Okay. This is my 5th ball, and I'm almost done.
Good.
I think I bought 8 of the gray.
You did, yes.
So I'm making really good progress on this. I'm really happy. That's the Glam Lamb by Stephen West.
Oh, I really gotta get my sleeves done.
You really do. I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, I'm really bad with 1x1 ribbing, and I've lost my gray ball. My gray contrast ball, I don't know where it went.
Oh no. Maybe that's the one Phaedra found.
No, that was definitely decidedly fingering weight yarn I just picked up off the floor.
Okay.
Which is fine, because if the ball rolls, listen, cat hunting instincts take over, and I understand. I think she's sleeping in her box.
She's sleeping in her box.
The knit pick box I got 2 months ago, still sitting on my floor because it's her box.
Yep. Cat must have box.
Cat must have box. This box is big enough to sleep in, put her toys in, sit and stare at her mother at.
It's the perfect size box.
Stalk our aunt when she comes downstairs.
Absolutely.
Hide from the kid. I don't know how she thinks she's hiding from the kid, but she thinks she is, so it's fine. Makes her happy. I don't mind having a random empty box on my floor. I'm a cat mom, if you didn't know.
So I've got some spinning yarns this week.
I know you do. I don't. I just have
finished a spinning project.
I finished a lot of things.
I finished a spinning project this week. This
good.
Was my Storm in the Castle from Hillary's Magical Yarnorium. It is a 2-ply yarn that is, I'm going to say, about DK weight, but it's a little bit thick-thin. It's a lot more consistent than the first bunch of fiber that I spun. It's still really inconsistent, but I'm still really happy with it. And I think, assuming I have enough of it, I think it might become an Endless Summer Adventures.
Ooh, that'd be cool.
Because that one starts small and gets big, right? You can just sort of stop when you're out.
It's an asymmetrical. You can just stop when you run out.
So I'm thinking that's maybe what this stuff wants to be. This lightly marled, variegated white gray with the touches of licheny yellow.
Yeah, because you can choose not to do tassels if you don't want to.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking, and it's nice, and it's like, it feels nice.
Hang on, wait, I'm mid-stitch. Oh yeah, that turned out lovely. I think that'll make a good Endless Summers adventure.
But I evidently did not measure my yarn as evenly as I thought I did. I was trying so hard to measure my fibers so that I could get equally half.
Shouldn't you weigh it?
I did,
Okay.
and apparently I did a poor job of it.
Yeah, that's really...
So I still have this much of one of the plies left.
Okay.
So I guess I get to...
Oh, no, just round that off and turn that into a little single mini to put in your decorative bowl with your other single minis.
I think I'm going to chain ply this one just to get some more practice.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
So I think that's what this one's going to be.
Nice.
More chain ply practice. But it's done, so I can wind that off tomorrow night, I guess, because I just finished it this morning.
And give it a bath.
Yep. Oh yeah, I never gave my other one a bath.
You're supposed to give it a bath and tag it so you know what fiber it is and what spinning method you did.
Oh, I should do that with my other one then. I have a lot of washing to do.
Whew. I mean, my mom was texting me the other day. She was bored. My dad had gone hunting with one of his friends and had gotten deers. So we have to prep and clean and deal with the deer. So that's what they were doing on Saturday. And I was like, why are you texting me? Because you're bored. Like, it's not my fault. They won't give you a sharp knife. I wouldn't want to be doing that either. I technically know how to, but that's a lot of sharp knife and a lot of dark spaces and bad combo. I was like, is it sad or not? That I'm just like, that's too much work. Or that it's sad that it doesn't gross me out. I'm just like, that's just too much work. I'm like, not really more than doing dishes after baking. I'm like, yeah, I don't want to do that either. So, statement doesn't change, Mom.
I was expounding on my hatred of rolling things out yesterday. I guess this segues into yarn on the go. I went to my parents' place and we baked 11 dozen shortbread cookies yesterday.
These people are crazy. Having said that, if they're corn-free.
They are absolutely not. I'm sorry.
Do you have one person who would take baking off your hands and help you out? You don't even make corn-free baking.
I'm sorry. It uses icing sugar. And a lot of it.
You can get corn-free icing sugar.
Yeah, but my mom didn't. Because actually I don't know if there is corn-free icing sugar in this small town.
You might have to come into Winnipeg to get it because it's traditional icing sugar, which is made from beets, instead of modern icing sugar, which is made from high corn, which is really bad for you. So
yeah, no, these
it's just really bad for me because I'm allergic to it.
These are a pound of butter, a cup of icing sugar, and 4 cups of flour.
Yeah, that's exactly what a shortbread cookie recipe is.
It's butter and sugar with just enough flour to hold it together.
Pretty much, yeah.
And then you ice it with more butter and sugar.
Yeah. That's what shortbread cookies are.
But it was... I learned some stuff this time round that I'd never realized before.
Sure.
With my grandmother's shortbread recipe, her buttercream icing recipe, the cookie cutters that we always use, I never really noticed. They were just, those are the cookie cutters we use. But I was looking at the box this time, I'm like, this is a really old retro box.
Yeah. It's probably your grandmother's.
It is, in fact, my grandmother's from 1960.
Yep.
Original box, original cookie cutters.
Yep.
And we were doing it while wearing my grandmother's apron from the 60s or 70s. And it is so 60s, 70s. It's like weird paisley in the orange brown.
I've got a couple of hand-down aprons that are from my great-grandmother.
So there's a lot of my grandmother in the shortbread cookies that we make every year, and I never realized that because she passed away when I was 5. The only memories I have of her are in a hospital, which is really unfortunate. But she's still so very present every Christmas because it's not Christmas without these cookies, and you have to do it that way.
Dozen of them. There's only 9 of you.
What's next?
My nose is killing me.
If that's it for Yarn on the Go, then we're at wool gathering.
I just went to boring appointments this week. Unless anybody wants to hear me talk about CNIB computer assessments, which I don't think anybody does. I don't even want to talk about it. Ugh.
All right, moving right along to more fun things.
More fun things.
The next Patreon hangout is going to be December 21st.
Yipperoonies.
That's at noon Central Standard Time.
Yep.
The podcast-versary knit-along is going to be starting January 1st.
Yep.
We are knitting adult-sized sweaters by Tin Can Knits.
We are.
If you would like to start early, that is perfectly acceptable as long as you're only 50% done as of January 1st. I may start early because we know how fast I knit, especially large things.
You have to finish your lamb glam first, ma'am.
Yeah, I do. All right, well, I'm working on it right now.
I know you are.
Okay.
I can't see you, but I can hear you.
And then,
Oh, my nose.
Oh yes, we're wrapping up our bingo sheets for 2019.
We are. We're going to be doing a separate video for wrapping up and discussing in depth our challenges from 2019 and the stuff we're going to do for 2020. It's going to go up on Patreon first, and then it'll go up onto YouTube later. So if you're a Patreon member, you will get that video before everybody else does. That's just seems like a nice way of saying thank you for being a Patreon member. Have some content early.
We're actually starting to get the hang of this thing and be able to produce content early.
Me and technology. It's never been the smoothest ride.
We figure it out slowly.
I will get there. It is a heck of a learning curve, but I will get there.
What else? There was the 20 and 20 and the Make 9.
Yeah. So the big one's the Make 9 challenge on Instagram, which is where you choose 9 pictures, like a 3x3 grid. And you make those 9 projects. I'm going to sneeze again, and that's just how that works. Make 9 challenge lets you pick 9 projects, which I find is helpful if you get overwhelmed with the amount of choices to choose from. And if you're like, I want to do something, but I don't know what, sometimes that helps sort of just narrow it down, because then you can be like, okay, I said I wanted to make these 9 things, so as I'm done a thing, and I don't know what else to do, I can go to that 9 or 8 or 6 that are left and go that, like I'll work on that next. So, and I've always liked the idea of structuring, because some projects I've wanted to do for years, and the project stays the same, I just keep putting it off to do other things. So, I'm going to do a Make 9, and I'm going to fold that into my knitting bingo challenge card, because I can literally put the name of the project on one of my knitting squares, my bingo squares, and then boom, I finished one project and I've got 2 challenges done, which I feel is kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then the 20 for 20 I heard about on the Friday Night Fiber Friends Knit In, and it's picking like 20 projects and 20 skeins of yarn, like 20 yarn balls that you already own, like 20 things from your library and 20 things from your stash, and seeing how many of those you can knit. I mean, obviously you won't necessarily hit 20 patterns, 20 skeins, unless you're doing all one skein wonders. Because if you do a sweater, there's like 8 to 12 balls. So I don't expect to make the full 20 patterns and 20 skeins thing, but I want to put some of those in there because some of those correspond with my Make 9 that I'm picking out. So I'm like, technically it's a 3-for-1, which gives me a lot of playroom and structure, and it allows me to eat through some of my stash and do some other things without super limiting me. Because I mean, let's be honest, at least 2 of the knitting bingo squares are going to say socks. Because I know I'll attempt to knit at least 2 pairs of socks next year. Just makes sense to me. I mean, if you don't like challenges, the in-depth challenge video isn't going to be much fun for you to watch. But if you do, and you like to see how we sort of break it down and the choices we've made, then you'll want to catch those later on. We're literally recording them next week, not this week. And Diana's super busy, so we'll see how that goes.
Christmas. People who have birthdays in December, I don't know how I don't know. Just adding to the madness.
This is you every year at Christmas. I don't know why you seem to think you're not daftly busy, but you are.
Just the weekends.
I'm just used to it.
The weekdays are pretty normal.
We can record on weekdays.
Yeah, can if you want.
Yeah, I don't mind. You come to me and I work from home, and I'm done the last of my quarterly appointments, so other than a couple of dental visits, the 6th and the 20th, I'm fine.
Alright, we shall discuss.
Yeah. I might be recording late at night and having caffeine to stay conscious.
I'm sure that'll be great. I believe that brings us to literature.
It does. Because books.
Books. I finished Consider the Fork.
Good.
I have never appreciated the history of a spatula so much in my life.
So
a spatula, a frying pan, a refrigerator, like the history and the culture in a refrigerator.
Fish fork. Like where's my fruit fork? I
want some silver fish forks. That sounds fancy.
The 18 different fork options in French cuisine from the 15th century. Like, what? Yes. Super yes. The history of the refrigerator, why we went with gas instead of electric. So cool.
Ovens and food processors and knives and
microwaves.
absolutely fascinating in a way that I just can't fully explain. If you like knowing things that is not really important to know, but you just like knowing fascinating information, absolutely read Consider the Fork. The audiobook has an absolutely fantastic narrator, so I highly recommend that.
Delightfully British.
So British, like the Britishest British.
At her attempt at American 1940s housewife ads.
It's very entertaining. I understand what British
part.
people hear when we try to do a British accent.
My favorite part of the whole book. I was like, yes, so much yes.
I also enjoyed how her Russian accent was starting to sound very Scottish.
Yes, her Russian was very Scottish. It was amazing. It was very delightful. It was a very good book. I need to find more books like that next year. I really like those kind of books.
Yeah. The author has another book about food.
I know. Read
by the same narrator.
I know.
So I've got that queued up on Audible.
I know. I gotta finish the Expanse series first. Because I need to know.
I think you're on the same book as me now.
I'm on book 7 now. I finished book 6. So
okay.
I start book 7 sometime this week.
Okay.
I got some work reading to do.
Gotta read faster then. Because I'm only on like chapter 4 of book 7.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
You went from caught up to my 2 years of reading in like 2 months.
Not even 2 months, a month. When I settle in to do something, I settle in to do it.
Wow.
No, everyone's like, how do you do so much? Well, the Audible, I do it everywhere I go. When I'm walking, when I'm doing dishes, when I'm sitting down and I'm writing things out. Like, if it's not complicated, heavy thinking, like if I'm working, I can't do it. But if I'm sweeping my floors, doing the laundry, I have an Audible book talking to me all the time. That's how I get it in. That's how I get my knitting done all the time, because I'm always doing it wherever I'm going. In the evenings, I sit down, it's me, a cup of tea, an Audible book, and my knitting. It's great.
It is a good solid evening.
Mm-hmm.
Might do that this evening.
So enjoyable. So, yeah, no, I finished book 6, which was full of the feels. So now I'm on to book 7.
Oh, so many things.
So much to do. I still have Kristen Arusagula.
Avasarala.
There we go.
Yeah.
She's still my favorite character.
She's amazing.
I love her so much.
Like her and Bobby are my favorites.
Oh, Bobby's good too. I like Bobby.
As per usual, books are better.
Books are better.
What other books have you been reading?
I had the second task of the Triwizard Tournament this week, and I did V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic for it. I had to go rescue siblings, so I read a book about siblings. I was hoping to get to the second book, but I didn't. I really enjoy the trilogy. It's quite good. I didn't get to 3 Darker Crowns either, because I was busy this week, which is another sibling book.
Bless you.
I'm done. Oh, just hurts. I'm done. That's all the books I got through this week, and I had a big rant about how I hate TV casting.
Alright. I will just wrap up by saying that after finishing Consider the Fork, I started The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, which is the story of the woman who unknowingly donated some immortal cells and advanced medicine in all sorts of crazy, amazing ways, and didn't even know about it, and died of cancer, and her family had no idea that her cells had been taken and were never informed properly or compensated at all, or so it's sort of a, I guess it's a biography slash
Cathead.
I don't know. It's an interesting book about this person that made an amazing contribution to the world and had no idea, and nobody saw fit to like go, hey, thanks for this contribution to the world.
Yeah,
which
kind of
sucks.
Kind of rude.
Yeah.
Cool.
Not even kind of sucks. It straight up sucks.
I'm hoping to start Expanse Book 7 this week. Shouldn't shock any of you guys.
I'm gonna have to read that one faster.
There's only 9, is there?
I think
I'm almost done.
So, I'm not sure if 9 has come out yet.
I saw them in the bookstore. I didn't bother to see how many were out. And I was like, hey, the Expanse series, I'm listening to that.
I think that's everything then.
Woohoo! Allergies aside, it's been a good week. Just today, Tomorrow will be fine. But today is apparently the bad day for the week. So cool. What do I know? Oh well. I'll say until next week, I'm Jocelyn.
And I'm Diana.
And no matter where your week takes you,
Don't forget to knit. Just about out of the ball of yarn.
Excellent! I'm just about out of a box of Kleenex. Oh, my nose.